Well, good day. I'm Norton Oosthuis, as many of you know. And today we're going to be working together with discussing and figuring out ways in which we can safeguard our school's reputation, especially when it comes to things like social media platforms, situations that happen where the outside media wants the scoop on the story and will probably want to slant it in a bad way to bring down your reputation. I'm not an expert on social media. I have a Facebook page. Woo! I have a YouTube account. I even have Twitter, which I check every now and again. For me, it's a frustrating thing because there's so many different platforms. At one stage, I thought, man, can't I invent a platform that we can combine YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook? Bring it all together and we can call it UTwitface. Today we want to speak about how you can avoid the pitfalls of ruining your reputation when it comes to social media and when it comes to outside influencers, outside reporters trying to get the scoop on the story. Now, I'm no social media expert, but I am a journalist. I studied journalism here in Durban for 3 years, got my national diploma, did well, got the distinctions. And in journalism, we were taught that we had to be subjective. Every story, we had to be as subjective as we could be. However, while they were teaching us to be subjective, they were telling us to be objective. Pick your line, pick your angle, and run with that angle. The tough thing is, for journalists, bad news sells. Good news doesn't sell. Bad news sells. So as a journalist, we're always trying to find the bad angle to a story. And that is what can bring your reputation down as a school, especially in this day and age when there are so many outside influences trying to tear your school apart. A bad reputation can happen in minutes. Your response will determine the outcome of your situation. It's not necessarily the circumstances around you that will determine the outcome, but your response. It's all about damage control and how to deal with damage control. So today we're going to speak about some of the bad situations that can happen to you as a school on social media platforms, as well as dealing with the media outside that wants a bad angle on your story. So our first tip and our first hint in having a social media presence for your school and making it work for you as a school is, firstly, I'm on a sports field in a school surrounded by kids playing, enjoying themselves, and you can see me. But you can't see or make out the faces of the kids behind me because they're out of focus. And the reason we're doing that is we do not have permission to film or take photos of these kids and put them on social media. You as a school have to get permission from every child's parents or guardians to be able to put them on social media, to be able to put their photos up on your Facebook page, to put their video clips up on your Facebook page. You need permission to be able to do that. If you do not have written permission from these kids' parents, you could land yourself in very hot water. We've seen it happen. It's already in the media at the moment, and things surrounding children, their photos. It is illegal and you can get into big trouble if you do not have their permission. So first tip for having a social media site, and it's not even a tip, it's a requirement. If you are running a social media Facebook page, Twitter account for your school, get it into your policies. Get your parents to sign, your guardians to sign for each child that you're going to be taking photos or videos of and posting. We recently filmed a promo video for a very large private school here in Durban, and we were told which of the 1,000 students we could film specifically, because the school had written permission from the parents that they could appear on photos and videos on their social media site. It's a huge thing, and it needs to be part of your policies and not just a good idea. So a number of years ago, we took the kids to the beach and we took them to a restaurant that is literally on the sand. And so we were having fun, enjoying time with the kids, but I noticed this one lady was taking a lot of selfies. She would be standing there and she would take a selfie and then she would almost strategically move her body and take a selfie again. And I thought to myself, the background for your selfies is not looking great. And when I started looking more into it, I noticed that behind her was a family with a little blonde girl, and that she was taking shots with their little girl in the background. At one stage, the lady even approached the family that was sitting at the table and asked to join them. She said that she was down in Durban on holiday and that she just wanted to meet the locals and enjoy the morning with the locals. To which the grandmother of the family said, yeah, what can the harm in that be? And then she pushed the whole time to take photos of herself with these children. I felt very uneasy about the whole situation, and we decided to watch her. And at one stage, I thought, I'm actually going to get involved, because she was pushing to take photos of these kids, and the kids didn't even want to have their photos taken. I went and found a police officer, and I told him what was going on. And the police officer said, I'll watch out and I'll see what I can do, but otherwise there's nothing I can do. Technically, you are allowed as a police officer to see what is on that phone. If she was taking photos of those kids without their parents' or their guardian's permission, he could have confiscated that phone and had those photos deleted. That lady pushed and eventually got her photos. And at the end of that whole process, she even managed to find out where this granny and these children live. Now, in hindsight, I know that that is a human trafficking situation taking place. And I ended up running back to the police officer, asking him to please come and handle the situation, to which he replied, there's nothing I can do. The lady then got up with the family. The family left after they had had breakfast, and a new family came in with two little blonde girls. And that whole process started again, from the selfies to asking the waiter to take photos of her with these blonde girls in the background. Because the police officer said he couldn't do anything, I went to this dad of these two girls and I explained the situation to him. She saw me doing it, and she got up and she bolted and she ran. This is why it's so important to have written permission from your parents or guardians to take photos, videos, and legally have them put up on social media, on websites. Because human trafficking is a massive issue that we are facing in our country and in our world today. So please, can I encourage you, make sure it's not just a good idea, but it's part of your school policy that you get written permission from parents. Think about how you would feel as a parent if you saw a picture or a video of your child on Facebook, but you had not given permission for that picture or video to be used. As a parent, I know it would strike a chord with me, because I wouldn't know when, where, how, what those photos are going to be used for, why the photos were taken, and who's seeing those photos. If I'd given my permission, which I have for the school that my children are at, and I see those photos of my kids on Facebook, it excites me. I'm happy to see that something's being done. I want to get involved. It's great. If I see photos of my kids on Facebook, social media, that I've not given permission for, I want to know why. What is the purpose behind it? Recently, we went away as a family on holiday, and sure, it sounds like we get away often. I do have a job. I do look after my children. I actually work for money to be able to pay for them to go to school. We're not full-time holiday makers. I wish. But we recently went away on holiday to a resort, and the lady there, they had a big bird mascot, they had fun, they had games and stuff was happening. And one of the ladies from the resort was taking photos, obviously for their social media page. And a day later, friends got back to us and said, hey, we saw you at this specific resort and we saw your son and your daughter, and they looked like they were having fun. We didn't feel that it was a bad thing that we had appeared on their social network page, on their Facebook page. However, we did feel that it was an invasion on our privacy. As a family, on my children, that we had not been asked permission or just signed a simple waiver form at the resort for them to take photos and videos of us, our family, and our children and put it up on Facebook. So it's not necessarily that it's being used for a bad cause, it's for a good cause. However, it can be seen as an invasion of privacy on the family and on the parents involved. So I encourage you, make sure you get their permission, however small it is, if it's a small form that they sign, if it's part of your intake policy, when the children come to school, get them to sign a waiver that says, I can take photos of your children as a school, not in a personal capacity, but as a school, and we can use it on school social network platforms and websites. Your response to a particularly bad situation that could ruin your reputation will always be taken in one of two ways. Hey bud, I'll have a coffee, the usual, thanks. And I like to compare these ways to coffee. There's a philosophy that I live by. Life is too short for bad coffee. Can I get an amen? Amen. I see that hand, sister. There's two types of coffees. There's instant coffee and there's slow brewed bean coffee. In my humble opinion, instant coffee, which we're not going to mention any names here, names and places and faces have been changed to protect the innocent and the guilty. But instant coffee is good for one thing: throwing at people. As compared to a slow brewed, freshly ground bean all the way from Colombia, where they make the best coffee in the world. When you're responding to a situation, your reputation is at stake. No comment is still a comment. There was a story of a school here in Durban. The matrics went out, they went out to celebrate, they'd just done their last exams, and they had too much liquor, got drunk, rolled the car, and they were killed. A reporter phoned one of the teachers in the school, and they pushed for a statement. And the teacher's response was no comment every time. Now, when the teacher was questioned as to why they said no comment, because it was still seen as a comment, his response was, we don't want to get into trouble for something we say as a school. Because even though he was being asked in his personal capacity, the school's reputation was at stake. Eventually, he released a comment saying, we deeply regret what has happened and our condolences go to the family. Short, sharp, articulated, and to the point. Try to answer at least one question to get rid of the no comment scenario. Don't feel under pressure to give all the facts or the whole story right away. Even if you request some time, put the facts together, investigate the situation for yourself. You can put out those facts when you're good and ready. So the next step in responding to a possible reputational issue is fact gathering. Gather the facts. Find out the people involved, find out what happened in the situation, do your own investigating. Also, investigate the journalist that is trying to get the story. Is the journalist presenting the story from your side? Is the journalist gathering all the right facts, or are they just after the bad news? Then get those facts and deliver those facts. Don't add to the facts. If you're drinking good coffee, if you're drinking good brewed coffee, you don't need to add sugar to it. You want the taste of just the pure goodness of that brewed coffee. And it's the same with the facts. If you've got the facts, stick with the facts. Never embellish them, never add to them to try to defend yourself. Stick to the facts and you'll be okay. It's an opportunity for you to put emotion out of the way and to get all the facts. Don't panic. Make sure you're 100% truthful, and by doing that, you get rid of all ambiguity. Be calm, be professional, and be factual. This will help you when you're ready to release a statement. If you're having to deal with reporters, journalists, request a timeline, request a deadline for when they need to have it in by. This will put you back into control of the situation, and it'll give you a timeline or a time frame to get all the information that you need to be factual, to be honest, and to be professional. So a basic difference between brewed coffee and instant coffee is that brewed coffee takes longer to brew. Obviously, brew. Instant coffee is instant. When you're faced with a situation and you have to give a statement, step back, don't panic, take it slowly, like a well-brewed coffee. When you're in that place where you can think clearly and you can articulate yourself properly, you will get the right answer right. If you panic, and you get that information out too quickly, it might mean you saying the wrong thing or saying the right thing that could be taken in a wrong way, and that information can ruin your reputation. So take a step back, relax, think about the situation, gather the facts, and take it slow. Take it easy, like a good coffee. Remember, don't publish anything you don't want said, and don't say anything you don't want published. Don't be fooled by off-the-record requests. Off-the-record requests are a dream for a journalist. Because as a journalist, we want that juicy bit of information that no one else is privy to, because that is what's going to sell the story, and ultimately that is what's going to destroy your reputation as a school. A well-established and well-run social media presence can change your school and the marketing for your school and bring it to life. So the thing about social media is it's instant. Once you've put something on, once you've posted the picture or you've published something, it's out there. There's no retractions. You can delete that post, but it's likely that someone has done a screenshot and has grabbed that post, and it's in cyberspace forever. Think about how movie stars, film stars, celebrities, presidents have put stuff up on Twitter, on Facebook, and then changed their minds and retracted that statement. It's all out there. Someone has done a screenshot, someone has put it up, and their reputation is at stake because they went for the instant choice. Your response is always a choice, either instant or slow brewed. We need to be aware of topics of interest that are gaining momentum in the public space right now. For example, schools need to be ready to respond to the media about topics like this. Is your school registered with the Department of Education? And a hot topic right now, what is your school's stance on the new comprehensive sexual education program that is being released? As a Christian school, is your school not inclusive of some communities? Don't get caught out on this one. Be prepared. As a school, you need to be very clear on your policies, make them simple and understandable. Address issues such as dress code, discipline, enrollment, and behavior. So good. Remember, if you need help in this area, on looking after your reputation, on issues that arise, and you don't know how to make a clear-cut statement, AEE's PolicyWise team is there for you. Give them a call, find out what you need to do and what you need to say. Get the right words out there at the right time, and you will see your reputation held together, and you will see your schools grow from strength to strength. And before you call a lawyer, call the people that have a wider context of what you're going through. Don't wait for the journalists to be on your doorstep to get your ducks in a row. Engage with AEE PolicyWise now.